So my name is Matilda and I am 26 years old.
How do you identify?
As what? Like female, you mean?
Do you feel like you have carried the responsibility for contraception in your sexual relationships?
I mean, very much so, yes. But also no at the same time, because when I was younger and together with my ex-boyfriend from the age of 15 to 20, we had, first I was on the pill, but then I quit with it because I didn't manage to keep track of when to take it, and we just kind of stopped having protected sex, but I never got pregnant, like continuously. And then when we broke up and he got a new girlfriend, I learned that she had had 3 abortions after a while with him. So then I thought, and I don't know why I got to know this is a whole other story, but so then I started to think about my own fertility. And during this time I was also gay, or I was having only sexual relationships with women. I didn't think about that too much, and why I thought I was a bit infertile or would have trouble getting pregnant is because my mom is. I am conceived through IVF, I think, and that's also genetic. So since, my history with him was that I never got pregnant, and then his new girlfriend had all of these abortions, which is terrible, but I just immediately thought the trouble was with me. So then when I got together with Andre and we started having regular sex, I also did not think about having contraceptives because, I felt that I couldn't get pregnant at all.
Have you checked that?
No, because then I did get pregnant this summer. So then, when this happened, when I got pregnant and after the abortion and also during this time, Andre and I started talking about the contraceptives, and he also knows about the negative effects of birth control, and like he didn't want me to put anything in that would change my hormone levels or like alter my body in any way, so he immediately suggested to get a vasectomy, basically. That was like his response. He was like, I could really get this, because he thought that it was reversible very easily. And then he started talking to his mother, who has studied medicine. And I was like, the first procedure is very easy. It takes half an hour and you just clog something. But to take it out is a 6-hour surgery, and it's not always sure that it works. And then obviously he just backed away from the idea. And also at this time we had only been together for like 9 months, and he is 23, and I was like, I'm not gonna be in a relationship for 9 months and push this onto someone. But of course I also find it frustrating that I have all of these thoughts, and that when I didn't get pregnant with my ex-boyfriend, I had the thought that it's my fault, and like you always put it on you. I mean, people think it's easy to do something regularly, but to take a pill each day for some people is not easy. Like I just forgot all the time, and then I forgot 2 days in a row, and then somehow that also fucks up the rhythm, and I just got sick of it. But of course not having any contraceptive with my first boyfriend, and also with Andre in the beginning, even though I was quite sure I wasn't gonna get pregnant, I still wasn't sure since I hadn't had any a checkup on it. So that also affects you, that if you don't use the protection each month, you are like waiting for your period to arrive, and then it's like, and it also makes you stressed and anxious.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
No. But with this one that I'm having now, it's the hormone spiral from the brand that starts with an M.
Mirena.
Yes, Mirena, exact. Mainly because it was recommended to me by my doctor, also because when I went to have the abortion and we started talking about having a contraceptive, I also told her a lot about my period aches that I get in relation to having my period, and that it really knocks me out for 2-3 days, and that I'm taking very strong, or was taking very strong, how do you say, painkillers against it. So then she recommended this one to me.
Subsidized?
Yeah, by the state. Like, so I only had to pay 99 instead of.
Get it in Sweden?
Yeah. This was this summer, and this summer I was in Sweden. I was not here, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, and also since it was subsidized by the state, I only had to pay €9, but it was actually going to be like 300 euros or 200 euros or some shit like this. Which is also insane.
Did your partner offer to help pay for that?
Yeah. He did.
That's good.
Yeah. I was actually very not surprised. Or I guess I was expecting like for me to having to say like, yeah, obviously we're gonna share this, and he would never say anything against it, but it was somehow very a relief that he just said like, yeah, send me the total amount and I'll send you half, and like also with all the costs in relation to the actual abortion, like all the junk food I bought and the ice creams and all of this other shit that I needed to get through it, he was like, yeah, let me know, I send you half of everything.
So good to hear. It's actually quite a rare story. I often have spoken to women who don't feel that they have been supported.
Yeah.
Especially not the ice cream consumption.
No. So that was, I mean, and like I said, I just really thought that I would have to be the one to say like, yeah, obviously we share the cost. And he also paid half for the pregnancy tests that I took and the doctor support, like everything. He was just like, everything, half.
Should be a given.
Yeah, it should be a given. I should not be sitting there pregnant and wondering, oh, is he gonna pay half? Or is he gonna even suggest to pay half? That's the thing. Is he gonna suggest these things, or am I gonna have to demand it, as I know, as so many other women have to ask for this thing that should be so obvious?
How about the options then, or lack thereof, for men? Why do you think there aren't any long-term contraceptives available for men?
Because they don't see it as their issue. In that sense. They don't see it as their problem because it's not directly affecting them. And somehow I think this idea of childbirth or carrying children, or this whole idea of creating life, is so far away from them, from birth also with them, that it's never on their radar, like, and they don't start bleeding at whatever age you do as a woman. And sure, like in the education, they are like, oh yeah, there is this thing for men with the condom, and you need to be careful, and you need to always have condoms also against diseases. But then they give out all of these other options for women that are like all of these other ways that you cannot get pregnant, and then of course they think like, yeah, well, if there are so many other options for you to take, maybe you should take one of those. I mean, from a very early age, they realize it's their problem they have to deal with. And I do think that the education on how it affects your psyche and your hormonal balance in the body, it was basically not mentioned at all. And like the long-term effects of it. And I've heard from friends that kind of now have been on the pill since they were like, 14 and continuously take it, that are scared to stop taking it because the body is so adapted to having this extra hormones added to you each day that if you would all of a sudden take it away, what would happen? Which is also incredibly scary, I think, for them. Of course, I would love it if there would also be something for men to have. Because even though Andre was really good, and then even though he paid half of it, you know, as a woman you still have the actual, you need to be the one to do all of these things, because in the end you're the one getting pregnant and have to do an abortion, and it sucks. So it doesn't matter, you know, that men come with suggestions or these gestures that are just so obvious, and also it gets the reaction that you and I have, that's like, oh yeah, that's so sweet, that's so good, it's very rare, and that's fucking insane. sorry, maybe I should not swear also, but it's incredibly insane that.
Tell me about your experience going through this abortion. How did it affect you?
I mean, yeah, it was very traumatizing somehow. First, from the moment of realizing that I could have children, also knowing that I don't want it. Also, that Andre was not in Sweden, he was in Romania. So he was not physically there, which was very difficult. I don't know how you can teach someone to be supportive. This is also the thing, like he was just supportive, and if I were to give any advice, I mean, first of all, it's to not get pregnant if you don't want to get pregnant. And then that's also really putting the focus back on the woman again, or like on the person that can get pregnant. Because as it looks right now, we are still the ones that need to make sure that this doesn't happen on this level somehow. Really great if you meet a guy that is always like, no, I always wear a condom. I don't care about what you want. Or if you take, like, that just continuously have a condom. Maybe that's a good advice for. It shouldn't even, like this also, it shouldn't be a conversation. It should really just be something that happens that you can then turn down or